Hey guys, this is Bo. We're back in the house again at the Z Sports Lounge. Man, can you believe that? Jerry Moore yesterday, what an incredible guy he is and what he's done for sports and athletics across the country. There's another story that's been in the state of Michigan, and we think that it's been getting out slowly, but now with the Appalachian State victory over Michigan, it is really starting to be on the prominent. 4 championships out of 5 years, Grand Valley State University. We've got the head, the main man, the color commentator who knows the inner workings of the school closely, Bob Mitchell. How you doing, Bob?
Doing real well. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you very much for being on. Listen, Grand Valley is such a great story here in the state of Michigan. Tell me a little bit more about the program and yourself to give us sort of a roundabout. We can go into better detail after that.
Well, the program has really developed over the last 20 years. When Brian Kelly took over in 1991, which was my senior year, and I hate to say that was that long ago, but when Brian Kelly took over the program, and he's really developed this program into a national power with his recruiting, and part of his recruiting that has really worked for him is Division I transfers and really recruiting and hitting the junior colleges down in Texas, out in California real well. And then Chuck Martin has just picked up the pace where Brian Kelly left off and done a wonderful job and continued the tradition of recruiting real strong and having young guys fill in the shoes of some of the stars that we've had left this university.
I think the biggest thing here that goes on in Grand Valley or GV is the fact that actual reloading. I mean, USC was able to reload 1 year and then struggle after that, even though they beat Michigan. You all have seriously reloaded and kept going with a new coach, new everything. You're rocking and rolling. With all the recruiting and everything you're going on, what are the things you really help yourselves out to keep reloading those players in and keep pumping out championships?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's, for one, it's the university. It's what Aaron Lubbers, the former president, Mark Murray, and now Thomas Haas have done with the university, the education, and the facilities. If you come out to Grand Valley, you come out to Allendale, which is about 20 miles west of Grand Rapids, right between Grand Rapids and Lake Michigan, you're going to see a campus and a football facility that's second to none in Division II. Right now they're in the process of developing an indoor facility, which will house a 100-yard field, which you just don't see in Division II. You got the 8,500 seat stadium, which continually brings in 12 to 14,000 fans every single weekend to watch Grand Valley football on Saturday nights under the lights. And the atmosphere that when you bring a recruit into this facility, it's very difficult to lose a kid. And you also have what Tim Salgo, the athletic director, has done, not only with the football program, but with the entire athletic community out in Grand Valley. We have 19 varsity sports out in Grand Valley, and for the past 2 years, Grand Valley, all 19 sports have qualified for postseason play. And the President's Cup, the Director's Cup, which is a national award given to the most outstanding athletic program, Grand Valley has won that for the last 5 years now.
Yeah, I know Coach Hudspeth down in Alabama has a lot of respect for your football program, and he's got a very good record himself. Just he hasn't been able to beat you guys yet.
Yeah, it's. We've done a good job. I mean, when Grand Valley comes into situations where they're playing big games, like last year in the national championship game against Northeast Missouri, and in the previous years, these kids have played in some big games, and they've been playing in these big games since they were freshmen. So when the time comes to play some of the big games in the semifinals and throughout the playoffs, and even within the conference against the Saginaw Valleys, the Ferris States, and the Northwoods, they're ready to play. They know what to expect, and they know how to react in these big game situations.
I think another thing that bodes well for Grand Valley is obviously the championship that you've strung together and the image of the school and the placement of men's and women's athletics in the nation. But the other issue is that parents and players are more educated. Do they want to go to a division school, either sit on the bench and get redshirted, or do they want to join a program and get championship rings and have a college existence, something they can be proud of? I think a lot of us parents are looking at the Division II, 1 AA, Division III programs because we realize you're not going to play pro. I mean, less than 1% of anything goes pro. It's having an enriched college life, and I think Grand Valley has that full circle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the education that you can receive at Grand Valley is second to none. And also with that, like you said, the the media has done a great job, and within the last 20 years, and they've been on ESPN, they've been on ESPN2. We now have the television coverage on Comcast that goes out to Michigan, Indiana, Ohio. So the exposure is there for these kids. And 20 years ago, when I'm coming out of Brother Rice, I was the first kid out of Brother Rice to go to a Division II school in 9 years because of like you said, everybody wants to play Division I. And when you go to a Division I school, like a lot of my classmates did, and don't get a chance to play, you don't really get to fulfill that college experience in playing in college athletics. And now with the nice programs that you see at the Division II level, more kids are taking a chance and going to these Division II schools and really having a great experience and getting national exposure and winning championships.
And I was having a discussion with my business partner, which he's going to kill me for, but I love outing him when I'm right. I love the fact of how many players you have that turn pro in some field in your athletics from your programs. It's just wonderful to see in the state of Michigan. And the fact that I am not a Michigan homer. I do not like Michigan. I would prefer to see the fake guys lose every game, but Michigan getting tapped on the front jaw, it does set you all apart from the rest of the football teams in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, you do see these kids. I mean, recruiting at the NFL level and across the board and all the sports has just become so high tech, and put a lot of money in it. So you're not going to be able to hide from these NFL scouts. I mean, if you're a player, you're going to get a look. And Grand Valley has done a nice job. We had 6 kids in camps this past fall in the NFL through free agency, and so yeah, the exposure's been great. The kids are getting a chance to get to the next level if they want. And, the Appalachian States and the Grand Valleys are really putting these small schools on the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that the press has really hopped on board, because I remember just 10 years ago, you never really heard about a Division II program. And the fact that Michigan is so struggling economically, and we are a hotbed of athletics for the nation to look at as how to do things right. And Grand Valley has been that story for doing athletics right. You, as being an alumni 20 years ago, has to relish, love, enjoy the fact that you're watching history being made at Grand Valley every single game.
It is fantastic, and Grand Valley has just done it the right way. They, Rob Odieski, the former Grand Valley student, and what he did in his promotions in regards to the university, his vision that he had as far as putting the games at night and not trying to compete during the day with the Michigans, the Notre Dames, the Michigan States, and having a great family atmosphere out in Allendale and letting these families come out and watch a great product has been phenomenal. And to go out there on a Saturday evening and see a 8,500-seat stadium filled with 12 to 14,000 people, and just the environment that's out there. I mean, I've got 5 kids of my own, and we're out there every home game on Saturdays, and it's just a blast. It's really fun to see.
Now, I know there's been talk on the internet from different blogs and everything about Grand Valley finally making that jump up to Division I, AA, even Division A. What's the likelihood of that happening?
I don't see that a very good likelihood of that happening. And there's a lot of components that go into that. And Tim Selgo, the athletic director, who has been at Grand Valley over 10 years and just has done a phenomenal job, gets this question brought up to him all the time. And there's a lot of things that have to happen in order for that to work, and one of them being the working budget. I mean, right now, and these are kind of rough numbers, but Grand Valley is working with an athletic budget of around $4 million a year. In order to just make that jump just to the 1 AA or the small Division I program like the MAC schools, you're looking at jumping from $4 million to about $34, $35 million. And that's quite a jump to do, because you don't just bring up your football program, you have to bring up your whole athletic program. The other problem is the geographics to it. If we jump up to a 1 AA program, there aren't many programs in the Midwest that are 1 AA. Then you come into a problem of trying to find a conference and the travel problems that go along with that. And to be honest with you, Grand Valley is really happy